G'day everyone, welcome to Brushes with Beck. This is part 2 of my Leafy Seadragon video with Derwent Watercolour Pencils. Let's get straight into it. The intention was to add black, so let's add black. And I might add some dark blue as well. Maybe we'll start with the dark blue and see how we go. I do have colour swatches of all of these colours somewhere, wet and dry. They would be good for me to reference right now, but that's alright. Now I'm sure there are light fast or reasonably light fast watercolour pencil sets out there. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure they exist. For now, I just enjoy sketching with these watercolour pencils. The last thing I need to do right now is add another medium for myself to use because, I mean, I love coloured pencil and I've been enjoying using gouache paint. But I find it really difficult to decide which medium to use, and I've only got two to choose from. I think, oh, this would look really good as a painting, but it would also look really good in colour pencil. So I find that difficult, and if I had more mediums to choose from, I'd probably never get anything done because I'd be too busy trying to decide which medium I'm going to use to complete an image. Probably should keep all the lines the same way, just for consistency in case they don't blend out properly. And I probably should have done them horizontally for more of an oceany feel in a way. In my head anyway, that's how I feel. Let's put a line through there. So some of these fiddly areas are going to be the hard stuff. I find I have difficulty with watercolour pencil when I have these larger areas. I find it extremely difficult to get a consistent colour. And it's not so much an issue with laying down the pencil consistently, it's more an issue of blending it with the water consistently and using the right amount of water each time I add water to my brush and getting it to blend out all together. I find quite difficult. That's still, oh no, it's alright. Thought it was still a little bit damp. Here's hoping, probably not, but here's hoping I can get this done sort of within half an hour. Don't like my chances because I think we're already probably at about 20 minutes. I can't actually remember. But we'll see how we go. Just keep plodding along. As you can see, I'm being super messy with these pencil strokes. Like I said, it's just a sketch. Show you a bit of what's possible with watercolour pencil. I am by no means an expert or well versed in watercolour pencil usage, but I do enjoy it for sketching. Like I said, it's loose, you can get an idea of colours. It could be good for field sketching if you wanted to sketch in the field and add some colour, but then add water when you got home. Potentially. This will be interesting. Just simply going around all the areas is going to be, I mean, it's hard enough with the pencil. I'm sure it's going to be difficult with the paintbrush. Was I meant to colour there? I think yes. That's the problem with not having a very well refined sketch. That's a bit darker in there. Oh well. Make the sea dragon pop out a bit more if it's a little bit darker in the middle behind him. I might add more black in there actually. And ease it out to blue around the edges. That could work. You know, I'm actually really surprised that none of my cats have come to see what I'm up to. Usually I would have been interrupted multiple times. Just see me like standing right on my work so she can be petted. Jasper often likes to try and sit on my lap while I'm working. And it just doesn't work well, especially when I'm filming, because I have to be quite far forward at the desk and have the chair raised up, which doesn't work for her to sit on my lap. Okay, I think I've got a fair amount of blue in there. I might add a little bit of black in. Hopefully I don't go too overboard with the black. Then again, maybe the blue's not strong enough and I want to go overboard with the black. This is sort of like a semi-transparent, or fairly transparent, sort of like a dorsal fin, I suppose. I'm not sure what the actual terminology would be, but it helps propel them along. Maybe I could use the lighter blue around the edges of the page. You want to make sure you have enough colour, but I also personally don't want to go too strong with this. probably leave that little bit below the face there, because it's got so many little feelery bits anyway. Starting to find it hard to tell where I've put black down and where I haven't. But I think that's probably pretty good. I've got it more in the middle than anywhere. Oops, I've just gone over that there. Might be able to fix that after. Alright, I might add some light blue around the edge. Just to sort of pop that black out a little bit. This is going to be messy. That's okay, like I said. Sketching, bit of fun for colour. Okay, let's give that a go. Where do I start and what size brush do I go with? That's the question. Or do I get something bigger for these larger areas? Something bigger might be good. We'll find out shortly enough. Like I said, I struggle with these large open areas. So this is probably not going to be blended out smoothly. It's not going to be smooth brush strokes. It's just going to be whatever I can get. Change brushes here. Oops. Right, like I said, I'm not going to tell you how to fix those join lines from the large areas to the detailed areas because I honestly don't know how to fix them myself or to prevent them from happening. I haven't studied on how to use watercolour pencils or watercolour in general. I just kind of, I learn by doing. I mean, I do read up on things, but I like to just try things. And that's just simply I haven't figured out yet. If you do know how I can prevent it, like these sort of areas here, let me know. I could add some more pencil colour back in there, I suppose, and see if it clears that up. Is it that I'm using too much water in one area and not enough in another? Or is it simply because the one area is drying before I go and connect it up with the other? Not too far with the brush there. Oops. I am the hurricane. There we go. I'm glad I added the lighter blue. I don't think I would have had much pigment if I hadn't added the lighter blue. Oops. Now you can see here I've still got some pencil strokes there. Like I said, that would, you could have that not be there if you actually spent more time layering your pencils down and getting them smooth and even coverage before going over with your brush. I just didn't take the care required to do that for this picture. It's nice and dark. I mean, it's starting to... I think I almost liked it on the white better because it was nice and clean. And this is just so messy. Even if there is that nice dark pigment behind it. It's just... Maybe I could outline it with a pen, like an ink pen. If I've got one that still works. That could work. Or just refine it with coloured pencils. I was going to go over some areas here with white coloured pencil. The brush, I realised I haven't mentioned this brush. The brush that I'm using is just, I believe it's called a filbert brush. It's just rounded on the corners. Oops, I didn't want to take that off. I was just trying to spread out the bristles. I find they're quite versatile for cornering and that sort of thing. Getting there. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Where do I want to go next? That's the trick. That is the trick. Now this, the reference photo I'm using for this is one I took. I haven't actually seen a Leafy Seadragon in the wild, but it was photographed at a zoo in one of their aquariums. And that is one of the absolutely wonderful things about zoos as an artist, is that you have access to such a wide array of animals that you would never see generally, especially a lot of the threatened species. And the ability these days with digital cameras and phones to photograph these animals up close, and basically you've got your own endless source of reference photos. And that's really what I use. Is I have a lot of my bird photos are, most of them are wild birds, because I love going out and photographing birds and doing a bit of birding. But it's so easy, of course depending on where you live, to go to a zoo and photograph animals to get your own references. The other thing is, if you don't want to or don't have the ability to take your own reference photos, of course there are some websites, some you can pay for, where they have photos you can use for reference. There's some Facebook groups, I think, for reference photos. And then of course there's also find local photographers or zoo photographers and seriously pay them for the use of a photo. I don't know how much they would charge, but they probably really wouldn't charge that much if you're just making an original piece of artwork to sell. If you're making prints, they might charge a little more for the use of their picture, but seriously, support your local photographers. They have a pretty hard time with people just using photos without asking, without providing credit, without paying for them, because photos are as much somebody's property as this artwork is mine. So I don't like to draw from other people's photos. I will sketch in my sketchbook from photos from the internet, but they're not things that I will post on social media. That's just for, I'm practicing how to draw foxes, for example, and I will just sketch from a bunch of references of foxes that I find on the internet, but I won't then use any of those sketches to create a piece of artwork to post or sell, because I don't have permission. But there's nothing wrong with practicing for yourself and sketching from those, in my opinion. That's as a photographer and an artist, I'm saying that. Right, well, I've lost all definition on this here, I reckon. It needs some more work on the body. I'm going to add in some sort of a few of these darker lines. I think one of the beautiful things about watercolour pencil is you can go over with regular coloured pencil and define an image. And I might do that. So yeah, I'm thinking I might leave this where it is and go over, or maybe a little bit, a few more little things, and then go over with some coloured pencil just to bring out some of the detail. And I'm not going to do that in this video. Otherwise, like before, this video is just going to be much too long, so I'm definitely going to be doing a part 3 where I really finalise this piece with coloured pencil and add in some details, because although the colours are very vibrant the way they are, the image isn't very solidified. It's a little bit blurry around the edges, and I would really like to make it a little bit more crisp so that it's just really nicely defined, and perhaps darken up that background to make the sea dragon pop a bit more. So once again, thank you very much for watching. This is part 2 of my Leafy Seadragon video. If you haven't seen part 1, please go and check that out if you would like. I apologise that there's a bit of radio silence here and there during this video. Sometimes I forget to keep talking when I'm doing Draw With Me videos because I'm still, you know, learning this YouTube thing and getting used to it. But once again, thank you very much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay tuned next week. I do a new video every single week. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Brushes with Beck. And I'll see you next time. Bye!